What's happening, party people? Welcome to my weekend review. Most of these clips were recorded in the Houston area when I was helping Arian with his 4 Volvos. Man, they got a lot of parts out of the salvage yard. It's a good treasure hunt there in Houston. Other than that, we also got a couple clips in here where we helped him get his washer and dryer hooked up. The thing that I thought was kind of awkward about the washer and dryer hookup is that the set was made for the washer to go on the left, the dryer to go on the right. However, his laundry room was set up opposite. So the washer and dryer doors kind of open on the wrong side. A little bit, uncomfortable to do that, but it is what it is. So before you get a washer and dryer set, try to make sure you get the doors to open the way that will work best for you. I hope that makes sense. So, hey, I appreciate you all support. Appreciate your time. Hope you had a great week. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert. That's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Kicking off the Tinker Day. Gonna finish installing this washer and dryer. Man, that thing just cleared that cabinet. Sticking out further than we expected. So we may have to do something with this homemade cabinet area here to get some room for walking by. People here are kind of short, so we could leave that top shelf there and just deal with the others. So let me go ahead and get this hooked up and go from there. Last night we shut this down for dinner after we got both units kind of in place here, but we didn't hook up the back. We hooked up the cord to the unit, didn't plug it in the wall. We need to hook up water to the dryer. I said it right, water to the dryer. Hook up the dryer vent and hook up water to the wash machine, cut them on, leak check them, and go from there. Here we are, folks, back at the yard. Man, there's a nice 240 here. Nice lights, nice trim on the lights. I have no idea why this is here. I think it has even a good steering rack. We might pop that out. Last but not least, this thing has a dash with one minor crack in it. So we're going to try to pull this dash too. Let's get popping, because we need to get cracking. Checking out of the salvage yard. Whoop, whoop. Here we go, folks. Back in a salvage yard in the Houston area. Man, let me tell you something. This is amazing. I've been here, gosh, I've probably got 10 days at the salvage yard gathering parts to take care of my man here with these 4 Volvos. It's something else. Glad they're here. Here we are trying to see if it'll go in all gears, and it wouldn't move right and left. So I went outside and pulled the cable off of the transmission, and it moves. So either the cable is seized up or this linkage is seized up. So I'm gonna pull the cable off and see if the cable moves in and out. Somehow the cable is seized. I got it loose, but it will not go in and out. So this cable's bad. Let's go get the transmission. Maybe the pedals and stuff like that. 99, strange again, has 850 cables, but I don't know what kind of shifter. It was real hard getting the seat out because it wasn't powered right. We didn't mean to try to leave this or this, so I'm gonna take this stuff with us. I got all the bolts loose from the brake master and this clutch master. So Next thing I'm gonna do is start dropping things to drop this transmission, but I forgot my 18. Need to went back to the car to get that for me. Back at the 240s, we're gonna try to get a windshield and a steering rack. Steering rack looks pretty dry. This thing looks a little moist. I don't know if that's from the steering rack or something else leaking on it. My guess is gonna be the steering rack, but it's a minor leak. If it is leaking, so I'm gonna take this one, then take the next one, but I'm also trying to take this windshield, and I may take the windshield wiper system off the other car I took the dash off of. Got the steering rack out. It gave me a little bit of a fit, but all in all, it's about a 40-minute job. We took the seal off. Now about to break the glue. Looked like this glass had been put on, but it is a Pilkington glass, so it's OEM Volvo style. The windshield's about a third of the way out, man, but it's time to go. I'm tapping out. Back at the 240, we're going to get the mud flaps, the door mirrors, the sun visors, this windshield, and go from there. Taking the mirrors off of 240, you massage this off. It kind of clips in the bottom and pulls off the top. You'll pull it off with that rubber controller there. Then you remove those two screws, and you should be able to work it out after you take this clip up. You pry this clip up with a screwdriver. Now take those two 8mm screws out. Remove those two screws. Work this off and over it. Now just pull it out on the other side and put your hardware back on the other side so you don't lose it. Removing the steering wheel from this 240, it's a 90, I think, 1 model. First thing I did was went in through the back holes with a T30. They weren't too tight. Unscrewed the airbag drops forward. You unplug the airbag from this plug here. This has some kind of tape on it. I'm not sure what that's all about, but it shouldn't matter. You're only going after the steering wheel, not the airbag stuff. Probably has a clock spring behind this too. Next, once you get the airbag out of the way, you see that nut down there? I'm not sure what size that is. It's larger than a 24. So it's either a 26 or a 27. And that thing is deep. Didn't have that tool with me. So I use this crescent wrench. I put it over there. And then I put a screwdriver in there as a cheater. Put the screwdriver in there, honey. And I'm walking it off that way. So I'm taking little bites at it. I did lubricate it with some WD-40, so hopefully it'll get looser sooner so I can spin it off, but I'm just taking little bites at it to get the steering wheel off. What year did they change the mounting of the steering wheel from this type of mount from the bolt style? So this has a nut on there, like a 27mm nut. The other ones had a bolt in the middle, looked like a 18mm. Kicking off the Tinker Day, about to replace a oven. Oven replacement complete. We'll buy another one when this one get dirty. And there it is. The light is on. The clock is lit. We are ready to go. Time to get back to work on some cars. Been back and forth to the junkyard the last few days. Hadn't got any work done on the cars. I'm going to start out by running electrical wire through the firewall. As soon as I find out what I did with that wiring, and then I'm going to run the hood cables, check those out, put the rest of this thing back together, and see what's next. Probably the door on the yellow sedan out there. Whoop, whoop. I put all the wires I wanted to through that pass-through, and a couple through the pass-through there. The grommet that goes through the firewall has letters on there that says this side up. So I pushed them, got them started in through the hole, went inside and pulled the accordion grommet pass-through in. Now I'm just about to pop it into the firewall so that it creates this weather seal. Don't know if you can see it down there, but I'm gonna use this pry bar here with this plastic protector on there to massage that into the firewall. And then go inside, arrange them out here, then finish hooking up this hood cable. Tried to attach the new hood cable and it wasn't working out for me. And I took a look and this is busted open. So I have another latch I'm gonna replace that with that's not busted open so we can get this to work properly. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that. Actually, that piece is all the way missing there. And get this latching system hooked up. I adjusted the slack on the cable inside so it's right against the pull. I close this latch, I close that latch. Let's pull the handle, see if it pops loose on both latches. You can probably hear them. Sound like both of them pop together. Let's check it out. That one pop. That one pop. Perfect scenario. All right, let me go ahead and wrap up some of these wires. Put this weird airbox thing in. I don't know why they got a cold air intake on this car. And get this thing back together. So to run and move, I'm thinking about taking the dash out to fix it and get the windshield replaced tomorrow because we got a glass for it over there. A lot of people have this cold air intake. IPD sells them. I'm not sure why there's not a speed nut on this area right here. So I'm gonna put one on there. This is what you call speed nut. You slide it on there and then you fit it back there and put a screw through it. So that's really the only way to deal with this thing. Other than that, you're trying to put a bolt through there and all kind of magic nonsense. So let me get that on there. I'm sleeving these wires and this one has a little nick in it, but I don't think it's affecting anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and sleeve it up. Wanted me to run 2 10 gauge wires and 1 14 gauge wires back to the back, curl them up, put them on the side. So I pulled everything out the back, pulled up the side panel, and was having a hard time lifting this panel. Man, I never felt one this heavy. Ugh. Bam, we got action. At the CD charger, some big Alpine power amp and another big, look like power amp back here. This guy could probably thump this whole town with this thing. I don't know what speakers he's running on it. Hopefully not these regular Volvo speakers, but he's got some power. Let me push these wires under here. I don't want to take this loose. I don't want to jack around with those wires doing that. Yep, we got some power back here. 2 30 amp fuses on that one. Look like 30 amp fuses back there too. We are tapping out for the day. Back at it, salvage yard picking. We're gonna get the windshield wiper motor out of this one and go to the other one and work on that glass some more. Haven't seen the motor yet, but I do want to make a note of how this transmission's hooked up here. Since we're having problems parking, I think it's actually a motor problem. So I'm gonna take this motor instead of the transmission assembly. To remove the wiper motor on the 240, you disconnect that ground, unplug the wire harness, get the 3 bolts loose there. Then you come inside, you remove the glove box, you take the transmission loose here. It's got a pit on it. Then you take that bolt loose there, and this should come out. Came back to get this windshield, and somebody broke it yesterday. Wasn't like that when we were here a couple days ago. Sucks. Let's go get the other one. And we're done. Headed to the next yard. I am back in the LKQ in the Houston area. Man, this thing is way back there. All the way on the back 40. Let me get back here and check it out. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the light bulbs in an S60. I'm not sure, but this may be like a 2008 or something like that. It's easier to pull a headlight out to do this because the computer box and stuff is in the way. But as you can see here, you got these plugs on the back of the headlights. They just pull off. And then you see the bulb inside there. You twist those, kind of like a quarter of a turn like that. Pull them out. Try not to touch them. It's best to use gloves. If you touch the bulb, you can ruin it. Once you get it up like this, you simply unplug that. You could push these out a little bit. Push the white tabs out and unplug it. You could do it with two hands. That's the bulb. Plug the bulb in. Set the light bulb with the plug in it back through the hole the way it came out, and do the turn to lock it in. Now, the low beams are harder to reach. This one has a computer box in the way, so you may actually need a tool to remove the computer just to get the box out of the way. And I've seen people not put the computer back in properly. But there you have it. I was able to pull that plug off of there. Same thing with the light bulb. You turn it a little bit, pull it out, unplug it, plug it in. The driver's side should be easier since you got an airbox over here. And you can pull that airbox out easier than you can pull this computer box out. Still very little access, a little hard to get at. Hope that helps. Need to get a few parts off this car, and somebody is cannibalizing this poor thing. But let me try to get the bumper off. Try to get the squirter out. Somebody took the lid off the squirter. Hopefully they didn't damage the squirter in doing that. The cap's off of them. Doesn't look like they did. The headlights were gone almost immediately. So let me pull this bumper and try to get the parts I need. I don't see any damage on it so far, because I need this piece here, which goes across the front, and I need that passenger side squirter. Thought I had all my tools, and I didn't. I need an 8mm for a bunch of parts and a T30. So let me go back, grab that, and I should be able to get this off of here. Just got a couple more pieces from LKQ for that S60. Let's get out of here. Had to make a stop at U Pull and Pay, trying to get a part for Big Al out of a Mercedes-Benz. A Benzo. Is that what you call them? MB. Let's check it out. We are back at it. About to unload this junkyard stuff. Change the roof trim on that yellow. Clean up lemonade. Get ready for the road trip tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. This vehicle has the 850 roof trim, which does not have a catch to catch the water from rolling over the side and into an open window. It does have vent shades, so man, that's probably just as fine or almost as effective. But we got some S70 roof trim. These are in excellent shape. They even feel rubbery. That's awesome. So I'm gonna take these off, put the S70 ones on because they have a rain catch in them. Screwdriver and a rag. Well, this thing wouldn't crank. Pulled the battery, tested it, tested good, tested excellent, put it back in, fired right up. So it's got something going on with the cables or something. Sucks. The night I put my rear wing on, the tape wasn't thick enough and it wasn't going on right. So I ended up getting it stuck, and I realized my box wasn't far enough forward. So I pulled it away, took it off, moved my box, and when I went to put it back on, I dropped it against the box and it scratched it on that edge. And there was some other flaws in it from when I was painting it. So I thought, man, I might have to paint this again. So a few minutes ago, I wet sanded the scratches, which are now covered in paint. But when I looked up here, I seen the paint cracked. Then I looked on the back of the car, the piece that goes over the license plate, it's got cracks in it. So I think the Rust-Oleum primer that I used cracked under the pressure of this 1K base coat and 2K clear coat. So I wet sanded the whole thing and painted it again. I got a couple of gnats on it, but those couple of gnats are not near as bad as the scratches I had on it. After it hardens in a couple of weeks, I'm going to wet sand it. Here's another bug crawling around on it. But I think it's dry to touch. I could take it and either put it on, but I think what I'm going to do is put it in the back of the car, give it some more cure time before I put it on. So let me go ahead and put it in the car. Kicking off the tinker day. Well, not sure if it's a tinker day, but it's a travel day. And I just filled up the tank and it's telling me I got 13 gallons. Whoop, whoop. Help you. Time to get to work, folks. We're going to start off on the front struts. Well, at the salvage yard, we seen these struts that look like they were in excellent condition other than the bump stop being missing. They had strut bearings that look newer, spring seats in good shape, sticker on there look good, just look dirty. So we're gonna put these on this car. Hopefully it has the original springs on it. Somebody didn't discard those, so we're gonna do it one at a time. I'm not sure how long these last, but here's another pair of the IPD sway bar bushings that are worn out. So these are knocking. We need to replace those. All-wheel drive springs are about a half loop higher. These are the T5 springs here with the green swatch on it. I seen that green swatch somewhere. Do 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 do. Sheesh. Happened to my green swatch on my spring. Oh, there it is, all the way up there. Heck, I might have it upside down. Yeah, green swatch down there. These don't have a swatch, so they may be replacements. Finally got one side done. I had a problem because I'm swapping springs over really from one strut to another, and you really need two sets of these spring compressors to do that. I tried to do it with one, I got hung up. I wrapped the strap around the spring to try to get the spring compressor repositioned, and while I was doing that, the spring compressor and the rope spun, trapped my hand in there. I could barely get my hand out. It squoze it like somebody that's squeezing your hand too tight when you shake their hand, and I had to get the hand out of there and go get the other set of spring compressors from AutoZone. So finally got one side done. Going to get the other side done. It should go quicker because I got two sets of these spring compressors now. So let me go ahead and do the other side. Back from lunch, I got the good strut torn down. No, here's the good strut, tearing it down. And I got the other strut torn down. So let me keep on doing what I'm doing. No, this is the bad strut. That's the good strut. Yeah, I got the good strut torn down. Well, in my running around replacing these springs and getting my hand stuck and all that stuff, I made a mistake and put the wrong spring seat on that strut. I was supposed to put a new IPD HD one in there, and I put one of the good ones in there from the replacement shocks. So I need to pull that thing back out and get that proper spring seat on there. So let me clock out, clock back in when I'm done. We got that spring seat put in. On to the next job. Back on the clock. If you made it this far, I trust that you found some information that was either useful or entertaining, so go ahead and hit the like button. And if you would like notification of future videos that I post, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. You can follow me on other social media apps by looking for @RobertDIY. Some form of that should bring up the other channels that I have on places like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. If for some reason you need some more personal help, go to my website at robertdiy.com and use the phone number that I have posted there to send me a text message, or you can email me. If you have questions or comments, please make a comment below. And if you'd like to make some kind of financial contribution to what I got going on here, go to my channel and hit the more link at the end of the introduction statement, and it'll show you different ways that you can support me financially. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.